Why does mass create gravity? At first, the answer seems obvious. Heavy things pull lighter things. Planets pull moons, stars pull planets, black holes pull everything. Simple. At least that is what I once believed. But the deeper I looked into physics, the stranger gravity became, because gravity is not really a force in the ordinary sense. And what mass actually does to reality changes everything. Imagine I am floating alone in deep space. No stars, no galaxies, no planets, just endless darkness. Now imagine I place a single sphere in front of me, a perfectly still object, silent, motionless. At first, nothing seems unusual, but according to modern physics, that object is already changing the universe around it. Not through invisible energy beams, not through mysterious attraction, but by altering space and time itself. Most people never realize this. They imagine space as empty nothingness, a giant invisible container where matter simply exists. But space is not empty. Space has structure, and mass changes that structure. What happens next completely transformed the way I understand reality. Imagine stretching a massive sheet across infinity, perfectly flat. Now, I place a heavy ball in the center. The sheet bends downward. Smaller objects rolling nearby no longer move in straight lines. They curve inward, not because the heavy ball is reaching out and pulling them, but because the surface itself has changed shape. This analogy is simple, but it hides one of the deepest truths in physics. Gravity may not actually be a force. Gravity may simply be motion through curved space-time. And space-time itself is where things become truly strange. Because space and time are not separate things. They are woven together into one cosmic fabric, a four-dimensional structure. Everything I experience, every second, every movement, happens inside this invisible geometry, and mass bends it. Even now, the earth beneath me is slightly warping reality around itself. Not enough for me to notice directly, but enough to guide the moon through orbit, enough to keep oceans flowing in time, enough to bend light itself. Yes, even light. This is where gravity stops feeling familiar, because light has no mass, and yet gravity still affects it. Why? Because gravity is not pulling on light directly. Instead, light simply follows the curves inside space-time. Imagine walking across a perfectly straight road. Now imagine the road itself bends beneath my feet. Even if I continue walking straight, my path curves. That is what happens to light near massive objects. The universe itself bends the road, and suddenly gravity no longer feels like a force. It feels like geometry, like reality itself changing shape. Very few people truly think about what this means, because if mass bends space-time, then every star, every planet, every black hole is literally reshaping reality around itself. The sun does not simply pull Earth. Earth moves through the curved structure created by the sun's mass. And this idea was tested again and again. During solar eclipses, scientists observed starlight bending around the sun exactly as predicted, not metaphorically, physically. Reality itself curves. Pause for a moment and imagine how strange this truly is. I normally believe space is empty, still, passive. But physics reveals something entirely different. Space behaves almost like an active participant in the universe, flexible, dynamic, responsive to matter and energy. And the deeper I explore this idea, the more mysterious gravity becomes, because mass itself is deeply strange. What is mass, really? At first glance, mass feels obvious. Objects resist movement. Heavy things feel heavy. But modern physics reveals something deeper underneath. Some particles gain mass through interaction with what physicists call the Higgs field, an invisible field existing throughout the universe. As particles move through it, they acquire resistance. Mass emerges. This explanation is scientifically accepted. But even here, mystery remains. Because physics can describe how mass behaves extraordinarily well. Yet the deeper reason why reality allows this process at all remains unknown. And the final implication is where things become almost impossible to visualize. If enough mass gathers together, space-time curves infinitely inward. A black hole forms, a region where gravity becomes so extreme that escape itself becomes impossible. Near such an object, time slows dramatically, not psychologically, physically. A clock near a black hole literally ticks slower relative to distant observers. This has been confirmed through relativity. Time itself bends under gravity. And suddenly I realized something unsettling. Mass does not merely affect objects. Mass affects reality itself. Distance, motion, light, time. All become flexible near gravity. The universe is not rigid. It is fluid. Living geometry shaped by matter and energy. And perhaps this is the hidden truth humans ignored for centuries. Gravity is not simply something objects do. Gravity may be the shape of reality itself. The Earth moves around the Sun because space-time curves. Galaxies rotate through giant gravitational structures stretching across millions of light years. Even now, my own body slightly bends space-time around me. The effect is unimaginably tiny, but it exists. Everything with energy contributes to the structure of the cosmos. And the deeper I think about this, the stranger existence feels. Because I no longer see space as emptiness. I see an invisible ocean of geometry, curving, stretching, rippling beneath every star in the universe. Perhaps the most mind-bending realization is this. I do not move through gravity. I move through curved reality itself. And once I understand that, the universe never looks the same again.